let's get the ball rolling. Okay, so because, I don't know, my time management is probably worse off than it used to be, I would advise that as I reel out the big stories, you can contribute via social media and via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is still social media, that's why I started. But yeah, via Facebook, X, and WhatsApp, you can send your contributions. The WhatsApp number 0809 0306 Once again, 0809 0306 Facebook Nigerian Info PH, X Nigerian Info PH, and we're on YouTube as well, streaming live Nigeria Info PH. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty for the hour. And what is my first big story for today? My first big story for today is an interesting conversation. I think yesterday there was a book launch in Abuja that saw the gathering of some notable politicians, or should I say political big wigs in the country. And somebody made a speech that caught the attention of we in River State because he is a former governor, one-time minister of transportation, and he said something that really got me thinking. And I said, you know what, I'm going to make it a big story today. And what did he say? He said something like, indirectly I should say, he did not say it directly, but from what I understood or observed, he mentioned that the crop of leaders, the crop of governors more precisely, are living on the edge of cowardice. That is to say, they are afraid to speak truth to power. And he said some of the things that are happening in this dispensation could not have happened in his dispensation when he was, part of the governor's forum or when he was a governor. And so I want to throw the question out there. Do you think, when you compare the governors of the first, would I call them the first generation in the modern democratic era? Can I call them that? I'm talking about the 1999 set up until 2000 and up until 2007, and then the set that followed afterwards. Would you call those sets, the sets that were so fearless? And when you compare them to these sets, I wonder what your description would be. But more particularly, I'm concerned if that message was an indirect message, to what is transpiring in Rivers State. I know the PDP governors, for instance, are in court challenging the state of emergency. But I'm wondering if there was any way that they could have defied the president's order for the suspension of the governor of Rivers State. And this is just me thinking, and we're just talking for talking's sake. I'm not asking for anybody to go start any insurrection of some sort. But I'm thinking, looking and listening to his words, one can't help but ask the question, was he expecting the governors, to rally and say, you know what, this is unacceptable, we would not let Sim Fubara leave that government house, we would stand by him? Was it what he, because I remember in the 1999 dispensation when Obasanjo as president and Tinubu, had the falling out and there was no release of allocations to Lagos State, I think there was a rallying. Tinubu spoke truth to power. Some people would say that. I do not know, but some people would argue that he spoke truth to power, and he resisted, and he was bold enough. He was fearless to say, "Hey, I know you're the president, but this is wrong, and we will stand by." And he went to court, and I think Tinubu won in court. So I'm wondering if that is what he was expecting of these generation of governors, the governors forum of today, but he's not getting that. I'll play the soundbite in a bit, but let's now move on to my second big story. Yesterday, even right now, I'm seeing on the screen the headline, Reps reject bill on rotational presidency. That's what we were told. Actually, when I looked and scanned through the newspapers, I read in-depthly, that was not an accurate representation of what happened yesterday. Now, sometimes they use the word step down in legislative, activities or plenary. And I think the couple of bills were stepped down so that they could be looked at today. I don't know if they have been looked at. I've not been following legislative proceedings for today, but the House of Reps postponed, maybe that should have been the word, looking at that bill up until today. Now, what is the content of the rotational presidency bill as put out there by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Kalu? He is arguing that we have different geopolitical zones. How many do we have again? Since I left hard facts, it looks like I've left my political brain dormant in some place. So how many geopolitical zones again? We've got south, southeast, about 6 of them, right? We've got about 6 geopolitical zones. And he's saying that each of these zones should have a taste of the presidency. That if it is the southwest today, tomorrow it should go to the northeast. Next tomorrow it should be turn of the southeast, and then on the 4th time it should be the time of the northwest or something like, or north central. Because in that argument is that certain geopolitical zones have been marginalized. And as contentious as that argument is, a lot of people from the northern part, a lot of the legislators, or some of the legislators from the northern part yesterday during plenary stood up and agreed that certain geopolitical zones are being marginalized. Now, if you look at the northern area, I think northeast, north central, they don't really have a say per se, in respect to tasting or seating on that chair that is revered as the seat of the president. The south, some would say it was a twist of fate. Others would say the arm of God. Some would argue it was luck. And we're able to get there as acting and then substantial, and then we won 1 term, and that was that. Nobody's talking about them again. And someone said the minority. Okay. And then there's the southeast, where there was the clamor, a major clamor amongst all the political parties in the 2023 electioneering period. And somehow it didn't work out. Peter Obi was, favored, but it didn't work out. So now they're saying, hey, all those marginalized, minority and all of that should be carried along and allowed to taste presidency. Let's go for a quick commercial. When I come back, we'll talk some more about that.
Nigeria Info. Right back after.
If you're just joining us, we're looking at the facts as it relates to stories making the rounds here in Nigeria. And a couple of big stories we've reeled out already. I am Kala Dakurubatibo. The show is Hard Facts. The frequency 92.3 Nigeria Info. And my pleasure, always is my pleasure. And of course, you could start sending in your WhatsApp messages and Facebook messages to the live stream. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Nigerian Info PH. We are live on YouTube, Nigerian Info PH. We're active on X, Nigerian Info PH. And WhatsApp number 080903064116. I was telling you about the second big story just before the break. And I was saying, hey, the rotational presidency is a thing. It's making the rounds. Everybody's talking about it. News headlines all carried it this morning. Currently, live national television is having a conversation on that. And I said that the newspaper report, if you had read in-depthly, you would have seen where they said that, today they will sit during plenary, they'll talk about it. The Deputy Speaker, Kalu, had said, hey, let's let it go round. Someone had argued yesterday there's no need for the bill, and he argued because there is the federal character. But does the federal character really affect zoning? I mean, look at the PDP. The PDP is in disarray today because, there was the argument as to why did you zone it to the north again? Why not zoning to the southeast or to the south-south or to the south, wherever? Anyways, what do I know? But what are your thoughts as it relates to this conversation? Do you think we need a rotational presidency? Because I know I'm one of the proponents who would always, or one of the people, I beg your pardon, who will always argue and say, why are we doing zoning when we could do merit? But don't you think it will be fun and interesting, and maybe the people would have to put in more research into the candidates that come out if we now micro-zone it, if we not zone it to geopolitical zones? And so if someone is coming from the south-south, everybody in the country will have to look into the names in the south-south. Oh, okay, we have Zion, we have JJ, we have Gift. Okay, Gift from Yenagoa, right? We have, the names. People will look into all of these names and say, okay. And then if it's from southeast, they'll start looking at names like Samora Kuchinedu, or, you get the gist, right? You get the gist. And it's going to be really interesting, a conversation, because people will now have to pay attention to the several names or notable names in the various geopolitical zones, right? And it will probably, be based on what achievements you have done for your geopolitical zone and why you should be voted on a national level. I don't know if that works, but I don't know what you think about that. Because once again, we still have to talk merit, but maybe we could still talk merit from a micro zone perspective. What are your thoughts on rotational presidency? But let's now quickly move to my third big story. Interesting. It looks like a continuous conversation for about 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks. We've been talking about a one-party state. And it's because there is massive defections, or there are massive defections to the APC. Now, I was reading a start. I don't know if I remember that statistic very well, but I think the APC at the Senate level, the upper chamber, has got about 68, if I remember vividly. But I know it's over 60 now that they've got at the upper chamber as a result of the major defections. PDP has got somewhere around the region of 30, if my memory serves me right. As at this point, I think they got about 30 or thereabout. And the numbers keep rising. But people like Oshomole, people like Gandhi have said, there's nothing to worry about. It's not in any way going to affect our democracy. It's not in any way going to... defection's a normal thing in Nigeria, right? Show me one politician. Okay, some people will call yes and wiki. All right, cool. Yeah, you got me there. But how many politicians have not defected? How many of them have not defected? Let's ask ourselves these questions. How many of them have not defected? And so you're saying it's cool. But why am I talking about this right about now? Labour Party is in disarray. And so if the PDP, as we talked about yesterday, cannot put its house in order, one can't help but ask the question, will the Labour Party do? Because the headline today that caught my attention was Julius Aburu, the contentious, can I use that word now? Please permit me to. permit me to, for the lack of adjectives, because his position is contentious now. Contentious chairman of the Labour Party. And contentious once again because there are different interpretations to the Supreme Court judgment as it relates to the Labour Party's issue. And he has come out to threaten Peter Obi and others. And he has said that if they continue to toe the path that they are on right about now, that he will have no other choice but to do fraudulent things. Is it that they did not, they hoarded the money? What is it that they did? Because a lot of people think that Labour Party should have won the election, or maybe did win the election due to irregularities and corruption. A lot of people are arguing in that direction, right? A lot of people still believe that maybe the likes of Peter Obi, Alex Oti would be able to bring about the savior, the messiah qualities in 2027, all right? However, if there are skeletons in the cupboard, does that not make the hope that Nigerians have wither and dry up and die? Wither and dry up is the same thing, but yeah. So these are the conversations. And if the Labour Party is in disarray, and if they are still fighting and, name calling and doing all the things that they are currently doing, will they be able to put their houses in order? Because the truth is, the politicians are already strategizing. Those who will win already have put a lot of things in place on the ground. Their structures are thriving. I know, yes, life can still happen, but they're already planning. And like the saying goes, when you plan well, you succeed well. Because he who fails to plan, plans to fail. So what are your thoughts? So if the Labour Party in itself is in disarray, about 3 or 2 people claiming chairmanship position. There is the Senator, is it Nanladi? There is the Julius Aburu. I think there's one other, I don't know if the other one still exists, but let's go with the 2 that I remember. And they are arguing and fighting, name calling, mudslinging, doing all the things that they're doing, hauling insults at each other. Then what party? Let's be honest. And if we say political parties are the vehicles by which these people get to election, could that also be the reason why we don't have parties that can withstand the test of time? And APC may have his own fair share. I'm not cursing or praying bad for the party, but with the numbers of political bigwigs, flocking to the party, and of course politics is a personal interest theme first, there will be a clash of interest, a clash of personality. And I'm not saying, I might be wrong in my forecast, but hey, if the political parties are failing, shouldn't we be looking at independent candidates? Because there is the talk about amending, I think it was yesterday, INEC chairman was talking about electoral reform. So should we not be looking at maybe independent candidacy? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let's get to the phone lines now because it's time for me to hear your views on the issues I've brought before you and I've put on the review. All right, 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. WhatsApp number once again 0809 030 6416. But before I do take Okwandu's call, Okwandu is calling from Irebe, by the way. Before I take his call, let's take a listen to what Amaechi, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amaechi said.
As radical as we were, but we discussed Nigeria in detail and we thought we should move forward as a country. I asked you this morning, what is going on currently now in Nigerian politics? Could it have happened when we were governor? The answer is no. And you said no. We will confront the government. We will confront the president. You know that. That's how radically we are. That's how our governor's forum was. That's how determined we were to change things. But I don't think for getting that. I wish you the best. I will make my contribution to you privately as to...
All right, so you heard him. He said they were radical enough to speak truth to power, but come on, this generation. Anyways, Okwandu from Irebe. Welcome, Okwandu. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Thank you to you, Canada. Good afternoon to you. You see, on the issue of the statement of former governor of River State, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amaechi, I think that it is one of the things that I have been wondering, that despite how harsh the policies of this current regime is, despite how they have destroyed the economy, destroyed every facet of this our nation, we are not seeing any opposition from anywhere. In those days when Amaechi was governor, we know the contribution of the Nigerian Governors Forum. I can also remember Saraki as the Senate President, the likes of Chuba Akadibo, and other people. Even in the NLC, we can remember NLC presidents that fought against the policies of the past government. But today, look at how the cost of petroleum in the market, petroleum products in the market. Look at the cost of foodstuffs in the market. Look at the high cost of everything. The government they said they gave a worker 70,000 naira minimum wage. Do you know that up to now, that 70,000 have not been properly implemented and nobody is talking about it? What is really happening? Why is it that these people have conquered everybody, even the spirits that are in this country, the demons and principalities?
All right,
the administration has conquered them and they are not saying anything. I think this is the time for Nigerians to wake up, because these people will destroy us and nothing will happen.
All right, Okwandu, thank you. I've got to move on. I've got Braid from mile 1. Oh my, Braid is no longer no longer online. Gift from Yenagua, welcome.
Good afternoon, man of the people.
Good afternoon, Gifts.
Thank you. God bless you, Canada.
Let
me start with the former governor of Rivers State, both Michibika and Michi. Canada, I want to ask him, what made that very radical character of his that he could not even use that one to succeed in bringing in a successor in the person of Tony People and this other
give that. Those are different conversations. Bringing in someone and speaking truth to power are different things. I mean, they are different conversations.
He's talking about, I listened to him Canada carefully. He said in his own time.
He was talking about the Governors Forum. Yet again, he was talking about the Governors Forum speaking truth to power. So let's stay on that, please.
And getting what they want at the end of the day. That was what
my point again, yet again, speaking truth to the presidency, the center, not to bring in people or successors. So let's stay with the conversation.
The reason why I will not do this with you, it is because of my time, but I disagree with him because talk is cheap. You understand the point? The reason why I even brought that aspect, he is always seeing himself as God in this country. I am telling you, do you know that after the primaries, the president today, as a candidate of his party, went to him up till this moment because of that running around in that stadium. He has not even changed from his old ways. Up till this moment, he's angry with Bola Tinubu. But it's not like if it is me, if it is you, Sule Lamido, we were radicals. I never knew that I was more radical than yourself. Forget about all these things. What is the outcome today as we speak with all your radical and no radical that you are claiming that you have? See, no truth was even seen from Chibike and Meshi as far as this country is concerned. Forget about all those two. I will not accept that from him.
All right.
You understand the point?
All right.
Stop here.
All right. Thank you very much, Gifts. Thank you. Wala from Oigbo. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Man of the people, KD.
All right. Good afternoon, Wala from Oigbo. It's good to have you.
If there are any deal that we seek to unify the nation that shouldn't be rejected, it was supposed to be that deal being rejected now.
I don't know. So wait, Wala. I don't know what the outcome of today's plenary is, but I don't think it has been rejected. It was pushed to today for conversations. I know the newspaper has carried it and said, it's been rejected, but that's not what happened. It was postponed up until today so that they could talk about it. So let's stay with that now.
Okay, but the issue is that is the only deal that we seek to unite the nation. As you have been seeing, right from the democracy till now, you will see that the Constitution of Nigeria allow North and the South. When we talk about South, generalize both Igbo and Yoruba. And then we have been seeing that the power has been rotating from North to Yoruba land, from Yoruba land to Hausa land. Just as if that the whole
but we've had Ijo touching it, so let's say it as it is. Or should I say Ogbia?
We had the opportunity to enter there.
Okay.
We are not asking for vice president, okay?
Mm.
We are asking for president to come directly to South and Southeast as their constitutional right, so that the Northerners will not come out to contest with it, or the Westerners.
But you know, just as you are complaining here in the South, there are people in the North, there are tribes in the North who also have not touched it, you know, because when we say North, everybody just feels everybody's Fulani or everybody's Hausa or everybody's is kind of real.
That's why we are asking, let it be across the 6 geopolitical zone. I know.
Okay.
When it crosses across the 6 political zone, all the both major ethnic groups and the minor ethnic groups will be part of the leadership. That's what we are asking.
All right, Wala, thank you very much. That's what you're asking for, but I would have to stop you at that point. Bright from Rumodumaya. Bright, welcome. Oh, sorry about that. I've got Chima from Rumokuta. Chima, welcome. Let's talk, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Oracle.
This is Canada. Oracle is
I'm
away.
sorry, Mr. Canada.
All right. Oracle will come back on Monday.
Canada
Hold up.
It would be a dismay for somebody to believe that he must be in the discard of immunity before he begins to become an activist. You did those things. I'm talking about our former governor, Chibika Amaechi. You did those things you did because you have immunity. You cannot be arrested. You cannot be held accountable for the words that you spoke. I remember in terms of Goodluck Jonathan, where he was so confrontational, as he said, that they will run a parallel government. If anybody say that thing in Nigeria, if it's not a treason word, now the issue is that now.
So before you continue, Chima, the current governors, don't they have immunity?
That's what I'm saying now.
No. You would no. Sorry, Chima, you would not what's it called now? Disrupt my conversation. He was talking. What I am focused on. It was referring to governors' forum. The governors of today are living on the edge of cowardice. I was very clear and particular with what I said. So can we stay with that, please? Can we stick to that?
Talking to power, according to you.
What the governors now? We're looking at the governors.
That it is only the governors.
But that's what he said. I'm focused on what he said. I'm looking at what he said.
If that is what you're focused on, is that not what I'm talking about?
Okay, let's hear you then.
I am saying that you don't even need to be a governor. I'm making him understand that. You don't need to be a governor. That if he thinks that he can do it well, he doesn't come up. And I want to make him understand too that he did those things because he said the government of that day and that time wasn't doing well. But if the governors now believe that the government is doing well, would they go and fight for nothing? It is said that it is better to have a handful of peace than to have 2 handful of restlessness chasing wind.
So you think the government has done so well that the governors don't even have to shout or complain or murmur or do any of the things that aggrieve people do?
Are you not in defection? Is the not hearing it? Now the issue is that Nigeria, ordinary Canada, you understand with me that it is a damaged nation, ordinary, that we are repairing. We are repairing it now. Now, if we come the aspect of the zoning of presidency.
Please summarize.
If we go, I'm summarizing. If we go by that now, we want to go into what they call ethnic census. Remember, Nigerian constitution do not allow for zoning. Zoning is just the idea of political parties.
Well, that's why they want to put it in the constitution now.
If they bring it to that level, they were not in democracy again.
Why is it not democracy? Everybody will be carried along. It will still be by numeric strength, but it will be now that every layer of society is carried, or every region is carried along. So it hasn't.
Mr. Canada,
yes.
If we go by zoning, by Nigerian constitution,
yeah.
You know we will not be getting the right people again.
But you have federal character where people. No. You have federal character in your constitution where people are selected based on the fact that they come from certain regions. So why did you not complain about that and say it's undemocratic? Why now when it comes to zoning?
Because if you come to zoning, you understand?
Yeah.
Now you are depriving some people from their right to contest. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Open it. You have a free movement. You go to everybody's geopolitical area to campaign.
All right.
You can see that you're okay.
All right. Thank you, Chima.
Compare it to a particular community. Then it will be as if everybody is interested.
All right. Thank you, Chima. Chima, thank you. Every 8 years, you should go to a particular geopolitical zones. That's the argument. And Chima doesn't agree. But Faraday from Gukana, what are your thoughts? I'd like to hear from you.
I'm Faraday from Gukana. Good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, Faraday.
Yes. I want to talk about the speech or the comment I mentioned yesterday.
All right, quickly, please.
Okay.
I don't have time.
Put it to him that when we fought the military, I was part of the people who fought the military. Nobody was the government. But we fought the military and bring democracy.
Okay.
So what I mentioned is saying they are just opportunists. He is in position to fight it now, but he cannot do it. He's a member of APC because he lost out. I'm not a politician.
But he was a member of PDP when he fought. Sorry. And I'm not defending now, but he was a member of the PDP when he kicked against the policies of Goodluck Jonathan.
Let me put it, I'll come to there. It was just selfish. It was just selfish interest. And that's the fourth Goodluck. Like, look at what Peter Obi said the other day in the memorial of Edwin Clark. He said those who protested because of fuel increase, when the fuel was increased to 145 naira, are they dead?
But they are the ones in power.
For naira to dollar, 180 to 1 naira. Now, dollar is 1,500. Are they dead? So this, I mentioned their group, all of them were just selfish. But now, they cannot do it because Goodluck was a real Democrat.
All right then.
That's why you allowed them to do all those nonsense they did.
All right.
Look at the mess we are in now. In APC, they fought for. When they come together and fought for, and they are all members of APC, look at the mess we are now. He's saying that it was a government. We as an individual, can't you fight? He has all the resources to fight.
All right,
what
then.
is he afraid of?
All right, then. What is he afraid of? I've got to go, Faraday. I'm sorry. I've got Ken from Ubumini. Ken, welcome. Welcome. What is on your mind?
Good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yes, I can. Calling from Ubumini.
All right.
Canada, if I may ask.
Yeah.
What is federal character?
It's a character that is federal. It allows for everybody to be carried along. It's federal. It's federation. It allows for everybody to be carried along.
Then is it constitutional?
It's in your constitution. You're asking me if it's constitutional. It is in your constitution.
Because of what the man who said that there is no need for presidential zoning among the 6 geopolitical zones in this country, fighting the federal character. And if you ask me, Mr. Kalaba, this zoning of 18, which they said that it should not be constitutional, I think that is what shows that these people are not patriotic.
How do you mean?
Because if you are talking about political parties' ideology, you are telling me that whatever thing that comes from the party maybe in power, it is to the detriment of the losers or those who are not in the power. But if this particular bill was passed and being constitutional, Mr. Kalada, you will see that every Dick and Harry in each of the geopolitical zones will be touched by every development in this country.
All right.
Talking about party, you are telling us that struggle and take, if you can beat them, you beat them and collect it. Just like as the current president does. He beat his chest that this is his turn. And he is in APC. And here he is. And we are suffering. Are you telling me that if not for that, their so-called federal character,